So Peor, the Talmud tells two stories, and allow me to share these stories with you. I'm sorry for sharing them, but this is the Talmud. So I'm just quoting the Talmud. It's quite intense. Let's just use that word, intense stories. So the Gemara says a story, Sanhedrin, Daf Samachay Yomud Beis, 65b in Sanhedrin. There was once an old lady who hired a wagon driver, Uber those days, a wagon driver to take her from place to place. The wagon driver was Jewish. So she went from place to place and she finally stopped outside the temple of the Peor. She went inside, did whatever she needed to do, served the idol. She came outside and the Jew said to her, I want to go inside as well. So she says to him, Vahalo Yehudi ata, you are Jewish. So he says to her, Ma ichpat lach, what do you care? So he goes inside and he asked the priests, the komarim of Peor, how do you serve the Peor? So they gave him sheikhar, this stuff to drink and the stuff to eat that makes your stomach relieve itself. And then the way you serve Peor was you went to the bathroom in front of the idol. So what he did, this Jew, he went and made his needs in front of the idol. And the Gemara says, he wiped himself with the nose of the Peor idol. And the people around him looked at him and they said, wow, OMG, there's never been someone who served the idol, the Peor, with such hidur mitzvah, with such beauty of the mitzvah. I'm sorry for sharing it, but this is the Talmud, this is the Torah. And these people are crazy, but we're going to learn a lesson from it in a moment. And the Talmud says another story. There was another lady who became sick. And she made a vow, if I get better. By the way, the Jews in the desert, they couldn't serve the Peor because remember, one of the complaints they had in the desert was that they never went to the bathroom because they ate manna from heaven and the food was from heaven, was so heavenly that they never needed the bathroom. So in order to serve the Peor, they had to eat all this crazy stuff, which allowed them to go to the bathroom. Just by the way, FYI. So the other thing is, there was an old lady who made a vow, if I get better, I will serve every idol in the book. Anyway, she got better. So she started serving all the idols. In the olden days, there were these idol for this, idol for the sun, for the moon, for the stars, for this, for that. Everything. It was crazy. As I explained to you many times, the Jewish people at one time, Anshe Knesset Gedolah saw that the Jewish people could not resist the temptation to bow down to an idol, so they killed it. That's for another time. Anyway, she got to the Peor, and she asked the priest how to serve the Peor, and when they told her what you do, she said the following. She said, I'd rather become sick again and die than serve the Peor in this manner. It's gross. Okay, that's the two stories from the Talmud. Now let's talk about this for a second, right? What is going on over here? Chassidut explains that every single one of us serves the Peor on a daily basis. And not when we go to the bathroom. We all serve the Peor, as crazy as it sounds. You see, everything in life has a source, a spiritual source, which comes down into a physical source. So the spiritual source is the following. When a person eats food, he or she digests, I think it's 30% or 20% is good, and 70 or 80% the body excretes. Right? Or the other way around, whatever the numbers are. But most of it is excreted and some of it is absorbed by the body in good nutrients, and that's how you become healthy, and that's how you have a healthy life and serve Hashem. So there's something called Ikar, the main thing, and there's something called Tafel, not the main thing, right? The Tafel, the leftover, the what? The rest. Not the rest. Tafel is the secondary. Secondary is the word I'm looking for. Very good. The secondary. There's the priority and then there's the secondary. When a person serves the Peor, he's taking his secondary and saying this is the priority. Now let's translate this into life. So last week I went with my kids to Mexico. We went to Mayakoba. Anybody been to Mayakoba? No? Oh, very good. Mayakoba. Is it beautiful?
It looked incredible on
Instagram. Yeah. Rosewood, Mayakoba. I went to officiate at a wedding of a couple here in the Upper East Side, a wonderful couple who we know, they live a couple blocks away. And 250 people decided to join us from Great Neck and from the Upper East Side. It was a work vacation for me, right? It was a work, we had a massive minyan there, more than here, and it was on the whole time. And then my Akoba is gorgeous. Kids loved it. I went into one room there, and the air conditioner didn't work. It was 135,000 degrees. I woke up 3 a.m. from sweat. I couldn't sleep. I would call the hotel, whatever. Anyways, we switched. It was beautiful. Loved every moment of it. Beautiful. The beach is there. I went to mikveh with a chatan, 6 a.m. in the beach, in the sea. It was beautiful, holy experience. Actually, when we did the chuppah, which was exquisite, right after the chuppah, there were fireworks on the beach. I mean, this was next level. So when you go to Mexico and you take a vacation, there are two ways of approaching it. One way is that I live for my vacation, that I prioritize my vacation. That is serving the peor. But when I take my vacation and I say I need a few days away so that I can come back fresh, refreshed, so that I can serve God, then that vacation becomes almost like a mitzvah. So there's something called ikar in life. The main priority is to serve Hashem, to fulfill mitzvot and learn Torah. And then there's something called the tafel, the secondary, which is the materialism and your vacations and the dollar bills. But when you take your vacations and your Ferraris and you serve them, when you take the dollar bill and you serve it, you are serving the peor. You are making the secondary, the primary, the most important. And that is called serving the peor.